Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Southern Scallywcapper. Today we will be taking a look at the Nutcracker by Boston Scally Company. Let's get to it, shall we? This is the Nutcracker by Boston Scally Company. This is an 8-panel wool polyester blend holly and pine plaid patchwork cap. Here it is. Here is the cap in hand. This is the Nutcracker by the Boston Scally Company. And wow, just look at all of those colors. You got the plaid here, that patchwork, and just a really, really pretty festive looking green there. The beiges, the browns, of course the red that we associate so often with Christmas. And this cap was on my watch list for a long time. I really wanted this cap ever since I began collecting Boston Scally caps at the beginning of the year in January. And I had seen this cap. It was already sold out on the Boston Scally site. But once I became interested in Boston Scally, I started looking at what they had available on their site. And of course, eBay, I saw this cap and thought, whoa. Yep, it's one of those. It's going for quite a bit. So this cap was, like I said, was on my radar for a long time. I believe it's been a while now. I think during that time, during Christmas time of last year, that Reviews with Moose actually put up a review of this cap. Was the first place I saw this. And if you, for whatever reason, if you have found my channel and not found his, check out his channel. He has an absolutely plethora of reviews, a ton of caps that he's reviewed on there. There's even one video that's a little over an hour long where he goes through all of the caps he owns. So a great guy. Just check his out if, for, like I said, for whatever reason you found my channel, you haven't found his. And there's some others out there as well. Just really great guys reviewing these caps. And he probably has the most caps that I know of any of the guys out there doing it. But in any event, he's where I first saw this cap, and the colors, like I said, the colors on this thing are really, really what stood out to me. And Boston Scally, as they normally do with holiday caps, they did quite a few, and he even has one review where he does, I believe, 4 caps in one review. The Kringle, the Scrooge, the Peaky. It's a maroonish looking cap. It looks sharp. I really like that cap a lot. I have not been able to get that cap, but it was one of my other favorites from the Christmas holiday lineup last year. But this one in particular was the one that really, really stood out to me, which is funny because I will just be honest, I am not a fan of anything Nutcracker. I do not like the music really. Tchaikovsky, it's great. As a musician, I can appreciate it. I'm a bluegrass fiddle player, so it's really not my style. It's great for what it is, just, you know, I can't really get into it. It doesn't do much for me. The movies, the ballet, the show, it's just not my thing. It's just not really something that I get into. And in fact, when I think of the Nutcracker, what I think of is the scene in the movie from the 90s, the Little Rascals movie, where Alfalfa and Spanky are, they're dressed up as girls trying to get to Darla, I think. And they're doing something there, and they're messing up the whole ballet, the whole performance. So when I think of the Nutcracker, that's what I think of. But I love the cap. So this is the first Nutcracker anything that I've ever really taken to and I've ever really liked. But this cap, I just can't get over it. I can't get over the colors on this cap. They are, like I said, they are so festive. It's eye-catching. This is a head turner of a cap. And the pins that came with it, I'm not sure if they actually came with the cap. I know that Boston Scally did have a pin set that you see here that included the 4 pins. I got this cap off eBay, and I was actually supposed to get a pin with my order, and the seller forgot it, and he's sending it now. I contacted him, so no big deal. But I don't even know if I'll put it on there, just because I really like the cap the way it looks without it. And like I said, me not being a Nutcracker fan and anything else besides this cap, I'm not very inclined to to pin that on this cap. I just don't think it needs it, in my opinion. But the pins are cool. They're nice. They definitely go along with the cap. I just don't think I'll be one of those. One of the few times I don't think I'll put the pin on the cap. But it really completes the cap if that's what you're going for, because it does say, I think the big one, there's a roundish one that does say the Nutcracker. So it's very obvious as to what it's supposed to be. You couldn't get it confused with anything else. So the interior of this cap, and it did come with a dust bag, which I actually forgot to get and show, but that's okay, because that's what the dust bag looks like right there. It's a green dust bag. It looks just like that. I love now that, like I've said in previous reviews, that Boston Scally is including the dust bags, because it makes the cap so much easier to store. It's really a space saver. It's a great addition, and I hope they continue doing that, because I really, really like the dust bags, and I'm sure most of y'all do too. This is, as you just saw, the vinyl sticker. So for all the bald gentlemen out there, I've heard that it does stick to your head a little bit in the warmer months. But hey, this is a winter cap, so maybe you wouldn't have that issue with this cap. But in any event, not an issue for me. Not yet. I'm getting there by the day. Very quicker than I would like. So, but now getting back to the cap, there was a picture that Boston Scally posted last year that I just happened to find, and you see the blue there, and it actually looks pretty light here. But in person, this is a darker blue. But you can see in the picture here that looks more like a baby blue. And I think that is really pretty. I think that would have looked great on this cap. But as it is, it comes off on the cap itself a little bit darker. But man, that baby blue, it makes it just really a soft, nice color to go against the deep greens here and the red. So I thought that looked great in that picture. It just doesn't look quite like that in real life. It is a few more shades, darker shades of blue. Still, a fantastic looking cap. My biggest problem about this cap by far is this is one of those Boston Scally caps that has a sizing issue. At least the one I got does. This is a medium large. I pretty much always get medium larges. I got this thing out of the box. It was new, by the way. Actually, the eBayer sent it in the Boston Scally box. So this had never been taken out of the box, never worn. So it was no fault of the seller by any means. This was straight out of the box. The cardboard's still in it and everything. This, far and away, was the tightest fitting Boston Scally cap I have put on. I put it on, and it was just sucking into the back of my head. I almost couldn't even get it off. And so I did put it on a stretcher. I stretched it out. This is the first day I'm putting it on. It might loosen, it might tighten back up a little bit, so I might have to put it on the stretcher again and see what I can do. But that is really my only point of contention with this hat. Otherwise, this is, for me, one of Boston Scally's best. I'm very excited to see their holiday lineup this year, for their Christmas lineup, what they're going to do, what they're going to bring back. And I believe they do, kind of like they do with the October, the fall collections, they do the Nightmare. This year we got Michael Myers. And I believe they're going to do another holiday cap. I think last year's was the Grinch, possibly. I like that cap. I really like the pin, because I'm a huge fan of the original Grinch movie with Boris Karloff. I never really got into the Jim Carrey. I give it a chance every year, and it just really doesn't do much for me. But I really like that pin. The cap's okay. When I think of the Grinch, I think of a brighter, I don't know, just the colors are real bright green. You have the blues in the sky, the snow. So that's kind of what I think of, the deep reds. But it looked kind of muted to me, the cap. Still a good looking cap, just not quite what I think of when I think of the Grinch, as far as the atmosphere, I guess. The brightness just wasn't there. It just kind of seemed like someone stripped the color off of it to me when they made the cap and made it just a little more muted. So it was okay. It was fine, I think. And if I could ever get it for a good price, I'll just be honest, I probably would. I'd probably grab it up. But as it is, just not really exactly what I thought it would be. I think that Boston Scally does a lot better with their other Christmas caps, and this one is especially one of those that I think it's another one that they just completely knocked it out of the park again with this one. And I can't wait for the new ones. I'm sure that they'll be great. I'm sure they'll have a lot of re-releases. The Kringle, the Scrooge in particular, I think are very popular. As far as I can tell on the social media, Boston social media sites, people really want those to come back. So I'm excited to see what they will do. But in the meantime, I've got this one. This was the one that I really, really wanted. This is the one that I've had my eye on for almost a year now, and I finally found it on eBay for a decent price. So I thought, hey, it's about to be that time of year, so I might as well get it. And that's another thing. That's one of the things about Boston Scally that people kind of complain about a little bit, is that they tend to release things a little late. For an example, what they just did with the pumpkin pie, the Baker Boy, and they just released a new cap as well, the apple pie. But we're almost at the end of November now. It's about to be Thanksgiving, and we don't really have much time now, if you didn't have this cap before, to wear those caps. And I was one of the ones who I didn't have the pumpkin pie. I obviously didn't have the apple pie. So I went ahead and got them both. But there's not much time to wear them before the Christmas season comes about in December. So I would have liked to have seen them released earlier. And so I'm hoping that Boston Scally releases their Christmas caps this year a little bit earlier. That would be awesome if they did do that. So let's go ahead and rate this thing, the Nutcracker by Boston Scally Company. I do rate from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. I'm giving this cap a 4. It would be a 5 if there was no sizing issue. But the sizing issue is just too much to ignore for me. And I hate that, because otherwise this is essentially a perfect cap. Like I said, I really would have liked this as it is in that picture for the blue to have been more of a baby blue as it appears. But that's just a little nitpick. Otherwise, this is a stellar cap by Boston Scally Company, and I'm really excited to wear it this holiday season. And if you do have the Nutcracker, let me know what you think. How do you like this cap? How do you rank it among the other Boston Scally caps in the holiday collection? So that's all I've got for y'all today. Thank y'all so much for joining me, and y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. Till next time.